Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. Okay, so we had a 10th night of massive bombing across Iran, and we're hitting everything. There's reports coming out of Iran that we hit a nuclear facility. So think, what President Trump is doing in Iran, and I'm not the only one who thinks this. Victor Davis Hanson's talked about this, and others. Okay, so what President Trump is doing is destroying as much of their military that he can, on top of their military industrial complex that they have over there. I mean, just obliterating it, as well as a lot of things that you need to have a country going: bridges, roads. We blew up train depots and things like this. Things are very important. Hit a nuclear facility, just blasting everything up. And what a lot of people believe, and there's a lot of credibility to this, because and I'll talk about the coup in a minute, because President Trump has said this, that he wants to bomb them back to a place where it will take them 20 plus years, if all the stars were aligned, to rebuild. So what Victor Davis Hanson was talking about, and I thought this was pretty good, is that he's blowing up everything they've got, and then he's going to declare the combat over and end the war before the midterm elections. And I would say there's a good, strong possibility of that. Now, so far as the coup, there are a couple of different uprisings taking place in Iran right now. Okay, there's one inside the government. The government itself is in the middle of a civil war inside Iran. It's the the civilian government administrators, right? Like their president, those kind of people, versus the IRGC. And they're in major conflict because, now this is being reported out of Iran, that the bureaucrats, like the face of Iran that you see at these things, that they want to end the fighting. They want to make a deal. They want to end the fighting because they see what's going on. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard, it's the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. They have a sworn mission, right? They're not a regular military organization. A regular military organization guards the country, guards the border. And what the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps' mission is to guard and protect the Islamic Revolution, the revolution, okay? And the civil war that's going on inside the government between the bureaucrats, the president, the regular bureaucrats that run the country, and the IRGC is the civilian government want to end this. They know there's no end in sight, that they can't, I mean, we've destroyed so much. How much can they withstand and still have a country? But the Revolutionary Guard think any capitulation whatsoever, even the slightest, would be a betrayal and a defeat of the Islamic Revolution. And that's where a lot of the fighting's going on. But there was a day or two ago, there was a massive protest of Iranians. It's estimated about 100,000 Iranians from southern Iran who are pissed off beyond imagination at the government. And the government, this is one of the things that President Trump knows a lot about, because we've got great intelligence in there, between our CIA assets that are in there, our spy satellite capability, and of course Israeli Mossad's deeply embedded inside Iran. In fact, the bureaucracy, the civilian government, who knows, half of it could be, they could be Israelis, or Israeli assets and CIA assets. Who knows? But there was a protest that's estimated to have been about 100,000 Iranians, most of them from southern Iran, and the leadership that are keeping the war going are isolated away from where the bombing's happening, which I don't know why President Trump doesn't blow them up. He should blow them up. But anyway, they led a protest demanding that the government officials, both the IRGC and the civilian bureaucrats, visit the front lines in southern Iran and see what's going on. That where they are holding up, there's no damage. They're in air conditioning. There's no blackouts. There's massive blackouts going on throughout Iran, and they're not really seeing or experiencing the damage that the war is bringing to Iran. And it was a massive, like I said, estimated 100,000 protesters. And of course, we're not seeing it because the Iranians are covering it up. So there's a major internal conflict going on inside Iran. And that's on top of the bombing that we're doing, 10 straight nights, just blowing everything up. I don't know, how long can Iran hold on? You know, they're trying to bring other countries into it for some insane reason, but they're crazy. I mean, why are they launching rockets in the Kuwait and everything? What's the point of that? How it just shows you how crazy they are, right? How does it benefit Iran to keep attacking neighboring countries and bringing them into the war? I don't quite understand that. They're trying to make the war bigger, right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure that you subscribe. On the next stream, which will be in about 30, 40 minutes, I'll be live in the studio taking your calls. I got a lot of information on this liberal never-Trumper that firebombed the federal building where ICE is based out of in New York. Make no mistake about it, he's a Democrat. You know, he voted for Kamala Harris. Shocker, right? So we got a Kamala Harris voter who firebombed the federal building in New York City yesterday, and I got a lot of other things on him too, and I'll be opening today talking about that. But and I'll get into this business with Iran as well. You know, when you look at the trolls in the chat room, these pro-Iranian trolls, you know, you gotta understand YouTube is an international platform. So there are people that are in the chat room that may be able to type in some sort of bizarro English, but they're, you know, they're spreading propaganda for Iran. There's a lot of that going on in these in this chat room and others. You can tell. I mean, what kind of American would be so upset that Iran is getting their butt whooped, right? I know it's crazy, isn't it? But that's what happens here. The world's a lot smaller. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like this guy. What kind of name is that? No, this is not misinformation. These are things being reported out of Iran. Well, thank you for the super chat, but Massey 2028 for what? The head of the Swingers Club? He's running for president of the Swingers Club in 2028? He might win that, right? You never know. The Low-Life Husband Club? So Massey's going to run for the president of the Swingers Club of Costa Rica. Who's the vice president going to be? Marjorie Taylor Greene? I don't know. See, anybody who would say, see what I mean about foreigners in the troll sphere here? I mean, who would say something like that about the United States? The United States set the world in balance. See, they just confessed they're not an American. I'm sorry that you're not an American. But, you know, the left in this country, they're always going to take the side, the opposite of whatever Republicans in power. But the internal coup and political fights inside Iran are very real, and they're getting worse all the time. I mean, people want to survive. They don't just want to survive, they want their families to survive, and they want to be able to live a life, you know? Hold on. A car came by blasting some stuff, so I hit mute for a moment. All right, so again, make sure you subscribe if you're new. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Now, on the next stream, which will be in about 30 minutes, I'll be live in the studio taking your calls, and you're welcome to call, whether you agree or disagree. All opinions are welcome when you call me. No profanity, though, if you can contain yourself. That's right, make America great again. That's correct. Who could be against that, right? What's wrong with making America great? I know, I can't believe it is Tuesday already. Yeah, no, I'm not nervous, but I keep an eye on my surroundings. The other day, I came here and Sunday morning, I usually live stream from here Sunday mornings like I'm doing now, and there was a very creepy homeless person with a grocery cart filled with a lot of stuff. So Starbucks, they like to invite homeless people to come hang out. So some of the homeless people get a little sketchy. So yeah. So you gotta know your surroundings and look over your shoulder. Absolutely. MAGA is stronger than ever. Now the media, of course, is always against Trump, and they're going to report negative things on the war and the war effort, and we're not really getting any good reporting on what's actually going on in the war. Welcome from the Philippines. Like, you know, as an example, I mean, sadly, we've lost 17, right? How many of the Iranians lost? Any reports on that? No. No, their losses have to be massive. I was watching some of the footage from the bombs this morning of what we're taking out. I mean, we're blowing up everything they got. You know, and that's going to continue. Trump's going to continue this for however long, and they're not going to have much left. Plus, there's an embargo, a complete 100% embargo on Iran. They're completely surrounded. No one can get anything in or out. I think we really should declare Iran a no-fly zone and stop any aircraft, other than ours, of course, and our allies, flying over Iranian airspace. I'm surprised President Trump hasn't done that. He has his reasons, but they most definitely should close down all Iranian airspace. That would be a good move. That'll be coming. That'll be coming. Probably haven't done it because they don't want to be in a position of having to challenge any civilian aircraft, but we should blow up their airports and towers and everything else so they have no airports to land in. Blow up the airport in Tehran and wherever else they have airports. Just blow up the runways, blow up the towers and the terminals and everything else. Yeah, you're welcome to run, Romney. Run anyone you want. They'll lose. Hold on, I gotta hit mute again. Now you're welcome to run, Romney. That's a great candidate for the Never Trumpers. Loser. Loser and a coward, Romney. Remember the Netflix documentary? He was tearing up and crying when he lost to Obama. What is... Oh, you took that out, Dee. What was that you wrote at the end? 3,700 Iranian deaths? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really heard any reporting on that. I mean, how many of their leaders have we taken down? right? Think about that. How many of their leaders have we taken down? We don't know. Some say 1,000 of, IRGC and government officials. I don't know. But they're saying that Israel knows where the IRGC live and work, so we should be taking out their houses and offices. They got to all be wiped out. I mean, that's it. The fanatics got to be wiped out, and they wouldn't mind. They're so fanatical. They want to be martyred, right? They want to go down with the ship. So I don't think they would really mind. Welcome, everyone. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. On the next stream, which will be in about 25 minutes or so, I'll be live in the studio taking your calls. So we had this Kamala Harris voter who firebombed the government building in New York City yesterday, attacking ICE. That's the left-wing violence in this country is growing and growing. It's never ending. It really isn't. When that firebombing happened, it was only a question: was he a Democrat, an illegal? It fits into one of those. And we found out he's a liberal Antifa who voted for Kamala Harris, and we know for a fact he voted for Kamala Harris because he took a photograph of his ballot when he voted and posted it on social media. And the Kash Patel FBI didn't shut down all his social media like the Democrats do, because they don't want you to know that these killers are leftist. Welcome, California. My daughter's in California. She's in LA right now. Welcome, everyone. Yes, yes. Yeah, she's having a good time. She's out there visiting. She's coming back soon. Minneapolis, welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you own a learning center by chance? Those learning centers. Doesn't everyone in Minneapolis own a learning center? It's a great business. You don't have to do anything. You just collect government money, right? Denmark, welcome. Southern Ohio, welcome to you. Yeah, remember, Southern Ohio got radiated in that train accident, and Biden wouldn't do anything because Southern Ohio went Republican. Can you imagine? Could you imagine? But this Kamala Harris voter that firebombed the government center, watch, they're going to disappear that from the news real quick. It may not even make the news this morning. I didn't see very many stories about it. That's how the media are. It's another example. The media are not in the business of reporting or breaking news. They're in the business of covering up news if it doesn't fit their narrative. Right? Correct. Correct. Yeah, subscribe if you're new. The next stream will be in about 20 minutes, and I'll be live in the studio taking your calls. This Starbucks has the best coffee of any other Starbucks I've ever been to. There's two Starbucks about the same distance from my house. I try to go to this one because the coffee here is so good. Most of the others, it's not that good. It tastes like they haven't cleaned the machines in 10 years, but this one is really good. Plus all that caffeine. They don't have it on here, but 5 shots of espresso are in this drink. So there's a lot of trolls in here. Who do you want? Just tell me who you want to win the war. U.S. or Iran? Just the answer is either U.S. or Iran. Who do you want to win the war? U.S. or Iran? Let's see if we got any leftists in here, any trolls in here. U.S. or Iran? Who do you want to win the war? U.S. or Iran? No, Russia's not a choice. We're talking about this war. U.S. or Iran? I'll take Russia as Iran. There we go. All right. USA, that's right. Oh, yeah, we won on day one. We have won the war. You know, that's like saying we don't live in a civilized society because there's still criminals around doing crime, right? You know. But they really can't do, they don't have the ability to do much, the Iranians, at this point. The IRGC. The IRGC, I don't think they're getting resupplied. They may be getting some help from China when it comes to targeting, but I don't think they're getting resupplied. These are either rockets that that didn't get hit in those first rounds. Maybe they were buried deep underground, or maybe they put some things together from damaged things that were around after the initial strike. But the 10 nights of fighting, one of the reasons they're launching these rockets off is they figure that Trump's just going to blow them up. So they're just firing them off aimlessly. And maybe a lot of these rockets going to other countries, they're just randomly firing where they're not really targeting. They figure, well, let's fire it before it blows up. Knoxville, Tennessee. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. The next stream will be about 15 minutes or so. I'll be in the studio taking your calls. It's a toll-free number, and it'll be, the number to call in will be pinned in the live chat, all right? Yeah, they may just be randomly firing things off aimlessly. That's very possible, isn't it? Of course it is. Of course it is. But the war was won on day one. I mean, there's no question about it. Remember, the goal was never regime change. We wouldn't mind an uprising, bringing their own regime change. It is a great MAGA morning, absolutely. Absolutely. Liberty is the enemy of the left. I mean, it is accurate to say that this domestic terrorist that attacked the government center in New York City yesterday is a Kamala Harris voter. No doubt about it. We know for a fact he voted for Kamala Harris. So what do you liberals have to say for yourself? Why did one of Kamala Harris's voters firebomb the federal building in New York yesterday? What do you have to say for yourselves? No, I mean, that's just, you know, their answer to everything is January 6th. Because they have no answers. The left has always been violent. There's never been a period of time where the Democrats haven't been violent. I mean, the Democrats, remember, the Democrat insurrection is known as the Civil War. The American Civil War is really the Democrat Party insurrection against the federal government. Make no mistake about it. That's exactly what it was. Well, listen, guys, I got to take off and get back to the studio, but oh, what the heck? I'll bring you guys along. You can drive with me a little bit of the way, can't you? You don't mind, do you? Hold on. Again, if you're new, make sure that you subscribe, all right? This is most definitely where MAGA comes to talk. Okay, hold on, guys. Had to turn the air conditioning on. It is Florida. It's not too hot. It's 81 degrees right now. Heading back to the studio now. So I'll be live at about 15, 16 minutes. Taking your live calls. Well, I'm going to open talking about this Kamala Harris voter that firebombed the government building in New York yesterday. And then after I go through all of that, I'll get into the uprising in Iran and the civil war inside Iran. And I got a bunch more too. So we got a lot to cover today. Big news day. Big news day. Always use your turn signals, guys. It's amazing how many cars are on the road at 5:30 in the morning. You know these are conservatives, MAGA people. I mean, they're going to work, first of all, which tells you they're conservative. And I'm in Florida, too. Yeah, so no, the war was won on day one. We took out the Ayatollah and all their senior government officials. I mean, the people running the country now are so far down the totem pole, but they're not going to have much of anything left when we're done with this. The biggest difficulty the United States military is probably having right now is what's left to bomb. Right? We've taken out so much. And we have an endless supply of weapons. They do not. Yes, good bag of morning, everyone. Make sure you subscribe, guys. And remember, when you call me on the next stream, all opinions are welcome. I already have the video up. The chat room is already active. And it's about the Kamala Harris supporter that firebombed the federal building where the ICE offices are in New York yesterday. Come on. This light's staying red way too long. But, you know, the American media, typically the American media love war coverage because a lot of people will watch TV, but now they have Trump derangement syndrome so bad, they don't want to share anything that's going on in the war because we've won and it's making Trump look good, so they don't want to cover it. This is the first war that the media have not wanted to cover, right? Why else would they not really be covering the war? Other than we've won it and are winning it every day. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell. I'll be live in about 10 minutes on the morning live stream, and I will be taking your calls. So subscribe, click that notification bell, and please, everyone, like the video. That helps grow the channel a lot. All right, guys, I am at the studio, so I'll be live in about 10 minutes. So again, if you're new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell. I'll see you in about 10 minutes in the studio.